How do you force a smothered mate without escape? Imagine setting a trap so perfect that your opponent's king is completely boxed in with no way out. That's what a smothered mate is all about. It happens when the king is surrounded by its own pieces, usually in a corner, and a knight delivers checkmate. To make this happen without the opponent escaping, you need to carefully orchestrate the position. First, you want to drive the king into a corner, often by forcing the opponent's pieces to move into blocking positions. This can be done with checks or threats that make the opponent react in predictable ways. Next, you need to ensure all escape squares around the king are occupied by their own pieces. This is often achieved by forcing captures or moves that fill these squares with their own pawns or pieces. The key piece for the checkmate is the knight because of its jumping ability. Once the king is trapped, a well-placed knight can jump into a check position that the king cannot escape from. The knight's check is special because the king cannot move onto the square with the knight, and it cannot capture the knight if it's protected. Supporting pieces like queens or bishops can help by controlling key escape squares or forcing the opponent's pieces into positions that block their king. Often, a double check or a sacrifice is used to force the opponent to move into a position that seals their king's fate. For example, a queen sacrifice can lure the opponent's pieces into blocking squares, making the king completely surrounded. When all escape routes are cut off, the knight's check becomes checkmate. The king cannot move because all adjacent squares are occupied by its own pieces, and it cannot capture the knight without moving into check. The entire process involves planning several moves ahead, forcing the opponent into a corner, and then delivering the final blow with the knight. Recognizing patterns where the opponent's pieces can be driven into blocking positions is crucial. This tactic is often seen in advanced chess games where players use clever sacrifices and forcing moves to set up the smothered mate. Remember, the goal is to create a situation where the king is completely surrounded by its own pieces, then use the knight's unique jumping ability to deliver checkmate. It's a beautiful combination of strategy, timing, and precise calculation that makes the smothered mate a classic pattern in chess.